This connex has been sitting here a long time. It held all the old lumber from the barn addition over the winter. Then once that project was done, everything else slowly filled back in around it again. That seems to happen pretty fast around here. One project ends and another pile starts. So I started dragging everything out and figuring out what was actually worth keeping. Once it emptied out a little, you could finally see how much had built up inside over the years. Mouse nests, dust, acorns, broken pieces. Just years worth of dirt and junk built up inside there. Stuff that slowly disappears into the background, you stop noticing it every day. One of those jobs that gets worse the longer it sits. Once I'd finally had room to move around in there again, measured everything out and started figuring out how I wanted the shelves to be laid out. Nothing complicated, just trying to build enough structure that things will stop getting buried every few months. Most of the wood came from leftover piles and reclaimed material from older projects. Cut everything down to size and started piecing it together from there. It's pretty much how most things are built around here. The longer I've worked out of the old garage, the more everything started spilling outside of it. Old building materials, overflow from the garage, tools, parts, stuff I keep meaning to organize later. Most of it just got stacked in here over the years and buried itself. At first it worked fine, but over time it got to the point where finding anything meant digging through piles just to reach it. And once the new shop started coming together, I didn't want to drag the same bad system into another building. So before the old garage finally comes down later this summer, I need to get this place under control first. There were a couple old kayak holders bolted to the wall that had to come off first. I probably should have grabbed a ladder. Instead, I balanced on a stack of old tires and hoped for the best. It seemed easier at the time. Once the frame started going together, the space finally started to make more sense again. Bolted everything in the existing holes in the connex walls so I didn't have to drill through the steel again. I wasn't trying to make it look pretty. I just wanted to make the space work better than it had been. All the scrap ends and rotten pieces went straight into the burn pile. Amazing how much room opens up once all the junk pieces are finally gone. I got sidetracked walking past the wood line. Skunk cabbage was already up. One of the first things that comes back around here once the ground finally starts waking up. Black bears tear into them pretty hard this time of year. Started noticing trout lilies coming up too, and ramps finally pushing through. Everything shifts pretty quick once spring finally decides to show up. After that, I started loading things back in. A lot of this stuff came out of the old garage. Bigger tools, ice fishing gear, augers, stuff that takes up space faster than you realize. The old garage stopped functioning well a long time ago. Too much stacked into too little room. And honestly, I got tired of wasting time looking for things. Buying tools again because I couldn't find the first one. Trying to avoid letting the new shop end up the same way. Once enough stuff got moved around, I finally uncovered the old 1973 Olympique Skidoo again. Hasn't run in years. Still buried exactly where it got parked. I opened up the cowl, and there was old bread packed around the engine from mice nesting in it. One of those machines that slowly turn into storage if things sit long enough. Might end up being a project later on. Hard to say yet. By the end of it, the connex finally felt a little less overloaded. Not empty, not finished. But at least now things have a place to go before the old garage finally comes down. Finally moving in the right direction again. Feels like the whole property's been going through that lately. Trying to replace temporary systems before they turn into permanent problems. Next time, I'm back over at the barn. Winter finally caught up to the roof and goat setup, so I started working through the damage and getting things cleaned back out before summer really settles in.